Hello, everybody. I am SunPsychic Jean, and please welcome my very special guest on her debut appearance here on the SunPsychic Jean Show, Akela-B 24. Welcome, Akela.
Hi, Jean. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone in chat.
It's so nice for you to come and join us, and I'm so very excited for you. We've known each other for quite some time, and we've been training together and learning together. And I just wanted to invite you on and have you share a little bit about how you discovered your abilities, how you developed your abilities, and sort of some of the circumstances that um, was around discovering these things and the ability to develop them. Now, we all know it's spirit led, but I love when we get everybody's individual sort of story and the way that spirit guided them. I think it's just so important to hear. If I could ask everybody's about their very beginning and how how they learned about their abilities and their connections to their own spirit and how they developed that. I'm always just so fascinated with everybody's story. So, and how are you today on this beautiful Sunday morning?
Oh, it's good. Excuse me. It's beautiful. It's raining here where I'm at. I'm slight drizzle, but I'm pumped and ready to go. I'm excited to be here.
I think it's a little cool. We have the windows and doors open. And I can't tell if it's raining here yet, but
Mm,
we're both in the same vicinity, and I'm just outside of Washington D.C. in the state of Maryland.
mhm. Same here. I'm in same area.
Uh-huh. And I just want to say hello to a couple of VIPs coming in. Bora Bora, look at her, she's first. Thank you, Bora Bora, for coming in. And Ginny is saying hello. She said she'll have to watch the replay. She's getting an Akashic record reading from Terry Suzuki from Kigaru Spiritual Journeys. I can't wait to hear all about that. That's going to be amazing. Um, and Joyful Journey is here, and she's saying, "Hi, Gila." Joyful Journey says hello. Kim B says hello. Cody Rosenbaum is here. Hi, Cody Rosenbaum. Nice to see you. Just Visiting is here, and I see that you have a question there. I'll make sure I star that. And okay, good. And Cody Rosenbaum also has a question.
Oh,
Wonderful. We will be doing readings just a little bit later. We're going to talk to Akila and learn more about Akila and about her journey, her spiritual journey.
okay. All right, Jean. So first, I start off by thanking you because you helped propel me, I would say, right? In 2020, just to give a little bit of the story, I lost my brother, and when I lost my brother, I was talking to a friend back home and sharing some stuff with them, and they said, "Why don't you find a group with the things that you experience?" And I thought about it, and I came back home, and a friend invited me to a Pathways metaphysical show. So I said, "Okay, I'll go." And we went to the show, and looking through the brochure, they said there were some live readings. And Jean, you were doing the live readings. So we sat there and I was amazed. I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. And I got your little flyer because you were giving out discounted sessions. So I participated in that, had a reading from you. And from then on, it's like spirit, my brother, linked us together and everything just went whoosh like a speeding car. um so I've enjoyed the experience, the practice sessions that we've had with everyone we've been with. But just to go back a bit, because I've had a lot of experiences with spirit, but because of where I'm from, it was taboo.
Mm,
I think spiritual was very taboo. It was looked upon not in light, but more on the lower vibrational side. So my experiences was always kind of shadowed. It was put down. People would listen, but no one really paid it any attention. And when I turned a teenager, I had an experience and I told this same friend, and he said, find a group of people who can guide you, who can help you, who can understand what it is you're dealing with. And I thought about it, but never really did anything with it until the passing of my brother. And that is when I was like, the lights went off, the aha moment. I can hear it right now, right? And I'm just floored. I love it. I love the experience. I love what I'm learning. I love um, listening to spirit, hearing them guide me. I want to tell a quick story.
Yeah, yeah.
One day I was in my backyard cutting the lawn, and mind you, I've cut like 3/4 of the lawn, and all of a sudden there's a snake, this long snake, and I'm petrified of snakes. So you see a snake, what is your first instinct?
Scream.
Scream or get rid of it. So as I'm pushing the lawnmower, now the snake is moving away from me, but I'm pushing the lawnmower, and loud. This is the loudest I've ever heard spirit, and I didn't know it was spirit at first. I heard, "Why are you trying to kill it? It's running away from you." And I jumped. I literally jumped and let go of the lawnmower because I'm like, who's speaking? Who can see this brown snake on the brown dirt that I'm trying to run over? And I realized who was speaking to me. And I said, okay, I'm just going to help him mosey on over to the neighbor's yard. And I backed up. And ever since that day, I have not seen a snake in my yard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing because what that tells me is that we're always being guarded, we're always being guided. We're all people, there are energies and loved ones and spirit guides that are always watching what we're doing and helping to guide us. And it was in that instant that you had the opportunity for a encounter, because perhaps even the lawnmower may have been like at a vibration that you were like in this meditative state, just pushing the lawnmower, and the sound of it and all of this may have put you into a little bit of a relaxed state, as much as you could be. But and it interrupted you, and you did hear it audibly, but sometimes it that's just a beautiful story, and it reminds me that they're always watching out for us, and they're always trying to help to steer us, to nudge us and guide us
Yes.
along our path. And what a beautiful lesson or intervention that would change you from that moment on, and you knew that something different occurred. And I wanted to go back to your brother's passing, and I do know that it was sudden,
Mhm.
yes,
Yes.
and it was a tragedy, a shock, and a trauma all at once.
Mhm.
And when we are dealt with these big emotional sort of upsets or changes, we search. We're like, where can I find some help, some a safe place, some understanding, some reason, you know, and we our souls like leap up and say, help me or guide me or hold me. And we all reach out in this state of desperation, and it could be anything. It could be a car accident, it could be a death of a parent, or even a death um, a pet, one of our pets.
Yeah.
Anything that, if we're on our spiritual journey and it is our time for awakening, some of these really dramatic and traumatic events in our lives often break us wide open. And I like the way that you said that you were in this racing car, because I also felt that. I also felt this acceleration of my awakening, of my awareness. And
Mhm.
I was in this meditation group. I was with Melissa Feek, I think her name is, and she's now in Sedona, and she has a retreat center out there now. But I remember going to that class. It was like a meditation class and a expanding and connection class. and I said, I don't know what's happening to me. I said, all of a sudden, everything keeps happening. Everything is changing really fast. And I said, I can barely keep up with all of the information that's coming at me. It was such a very fast learning process for me. So I understood what you meant when you said you felt like you were in this speeding car. You're like, wait, what about that? Oh, wait, what about that? Oh, that was something. Should I look at that? And you're going past these things that you know are important, but something is pulling you forward. I love that. I love that you said that, and that really did bring me back to a similar event. Now, my awakening, so to speak, or my threshold that crossed me over was pain. I was in chronic pain. I had low back pain. And now, surprisingly, I don't have any back pain because the pain was the catalyst for me to search for healing. And I
Mhm.
went to a shaman for healing. And then I went to a Reiki practitioner for healing. Then I went to, and this is what led me a lot. I'm like, well, I have to do this. But typically it's something that leads us to on our spiritual path, and the more uncomfortable that the situation is the more that they want us to move
Yeah.
towards our awareness.
Yeah. And you know what I want to say? When I was about 8ish, somewhere around there, because I can remember, is when I had my first sighting of a soul, right? I didn't know the gentleman, and I was scared to death of this person because no one else can see him but me. And now that I understand, and it's all about love and light and his purpose back then. Recently, I actually sat down in meditation and thanked him. I thanked him. I said, you helped. Well, this is how I view it. He helped open up my eyes back then, right? To what was around. The downside was no one else in the family at that moment had the same experience or felt like they had the same experience. um so it was overshadowed. It was like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. But I thanked him. So I looked at the positive now, that him coming in and showing himself to me was a way back then of letting me know, hey, there's more than what meets the eye. I am here. I can see you. I can hear you. You can see me too. And I'm like, yes, I can. I could see you. And I apologized. I said, I apologize that I may have pushed him away, because I knew it. I found out who it was afterwards. And I apologized to him, saying, if I make you feel like you weren't welcomed, because I was so petrified. And when I did that, I felt a weird release within my body. And I was like,
Mm,
wow. Because if it wasn't for him, well, I shouldn't say if it wasn't for him, because what is meant to be is meant to be as we go through life, right?
mhm,
But because he was the first soul that I saw,
mhm,
um, the first ghost, I guess, because he looked like a ghost, that I saw, I felt like he helped open up the channels to kind of like funnel me through what was
mhm.
coming, what was to come. Yeah.
It's amazing how divine orchestration works, and how we can see now, oh yeah, probably pre-birth we both had this agreement that this time I'll do this and you can awaken, next time you'll do this and I'll awaken, like there's this pre-birth plan, and it's like, oh, everything happens for a reason. I see this now. Everything is okay. We're here for an experience. We're here for soul expansion, for awareness, for expanding our awareness. And it's sort of like, as soon as that perspective, and it's very subtle, it's just a little change in perspective, and everything is like, whew, like the emotional charge is no longer there, because it was all a belief system, or it was all like an idea, or you know, a construct,
Mhm.
like a thought form.
Mhm.
And organized religion did do a number on so many of us. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. It's what we were taught. We were taught. So we were taught that this is this, this is this. So throughout, you're thinking, no, you can't, you can't, you can't. But then growing up, I'm like, but I'm seeing this, and I see this, and I see this, and this happened, and this happened. And they're like, no, you can't. The one good thing I would say with my childhood growing up is I was not just um, tied to one religion. So it was amazing. I got to experience everything growing up in the Caribbean. So I never really honed in on one because I went to with my friends, with family, with whomever. Even though I was Anglican, I went to Catholic school. I attended mosque with friends, the temple with friends, Pentecostal. So I love that because it was so diverse, religion wise, that never really held a full constraint on my beliefs. It was more so the people I grew up around, their beliefs. Oh, no, this isn't true. No, this. But now it's like, I teach my kids, follow that instinct. What Nothing that is good for you is going to tell you to do something that's harmful, right?
Right.
How does it make you feel? So now they're like, oh yeah, we saw this, and oh, I'm like, how did you feel? Oh, it's okay. I just looked at it like, hmm. And it's amazing how the kids today, they that fear isn't there as much.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's because we haven't instilled the fear in them. I've always been open with them about what they see and sharing my experiences. But I love that they don't have the fear that I had, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I love that.
Mhm. And I always like to say, even though I do this every day, I still am startled if I hear something or if something comes, I'm like, ooh, what was that? Or if a light flashes like from my father or grandfather and the light flashes, I'm like, who's that? It's a little because it's not within our normal
Yes.
realm. It's not, but I my first instinct is it must be a family member coming in and just greeting or saying hello.
Mhm.
But it's not fearful, but it is startling sometimes. But it's yeah, so many people talk about the fear, and sometimes when if we're having experiences when we're a young child and we're woken up at night and we see like people and we don't understand it, sometimes that can create fear that maybe is not from religion or something if we're that young. But everybody's experience is just a little different. Everybody's understanding, and by you empowering your children to understand what it may or may not be and how to determine what it is, and if it's a benevolent soul
Mhm.
or just a visiting soul coming through. It's really beautiful that you allowed them that education and that ability to experience those experiences without all that fear or drama around it.
Yeah.
Maybe someday in their future, they may have either an incident in their life that may propel them forward and accelerate them on their path, or maybe they may be interested in learning more, or maybe they just will enjoy the connection of their own soul and their own spirit guides. Either
Yeah.
way, win-win.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I have to tell myself, right? Because sometimes I'm trying to teach them more. And I'm like, why don't they want to understand more? But I had to tell myself, it's not their time. But when
Hmm.
the time comes, they'll they'll open up more and be more accepting. At least they'll listen, and they'll tell me, Mom, stay out of my thoughts. Thoughts.
Oh,
I
that's
know
funny.
in your thoughts. Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah, when they get curious, or if there's a friend or somebody that talks about it, and they'll come to you.
Yeah.
But it's just so lovely. I think it's so beautiful to know you, Akela, and it's so beautiful to watch you put the work in, put the time in. You're there we had a practice together, practice group together that we both belong to the same one, and it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of dedication, it's a lot of you know maybe not getting things exactly right. It's a lot of learning, along the way. But it also is so expanding. And you continued your education, you continued taking classes and developing your skill and developing your abilities. And this is what it is. If you have a little bit of something and you know that it can be expanded, just whether it's a desire of yours to do it a little bit more. But and it's not for everybody. Sometimes it's just for ourselves.
Mhm.
But a lot of this, I feel compelled. My spirit guides are often urging me to share the awareness that I feel, sense, and know, because it's the wave of the future. There's going to be so many people that are going to be looking to spirituality for many remedies, whether it's emotional, whether it's a career, whether it's physical health. All of these things are going to be, we're all going to be needed to help guide others. And others will awaken, and others will be looking for somebody to help them along the way. So if you have a little inkling of that you might want to do this, please do take a class and start practicing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I want to thank you, Jean, because you got me into one of the practices. And from you getting me into one, I got pulled into others. And then, of course, there's other paid classes that one can take, but it's just being able to practice. And I wanted to learn, right? Because it had been so many years of my experiences and not fully understanding what, when, why, or who. So being invited to your class, although I was nervous as heck. And I think every class I was nervous, because you had these, I don't want to say gifted, but these folks who've been doing this for so long, and maybe some not as long. And then here I am, a newbie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to get this right? Am I not? But once I realized it's not about getting it right or wrong, it's learning to understand what you feel within your body or what you hear. Because sometimes, my experience, the scenario, I'm sorry, that I gave you, it was outside, right? It was an outside voice and it was
Right.
loud. Other times it's on the interior and it's so faint. It's like, can you turn up the volume a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but I want to thank you because if I wasn't led to that pathways session and then meeting you, I probably would have still been looking for a group.
Well, you blew me away, Akila. And when I feel the resonance, and I felt this with Priscilla from the Crone Zone, when her and I met on Zoom, I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's all this energy. What is all this energy? What's going on? Okay, we're like on a different dimension, and the energy going back and forth. I could feel it from you, 100%, no doubt." And I'm like, I like said, do you mind if I invite you to come with me? Because I think I know where you can find how to explain more of this. But it was, you already had it. You just didn't have um, the the language or the words to describe what you were doing and how. And it's just so lovely. And it's been years. You've
Yeah.
been working for years. You've been training. You've been learning. You've been taking classes. It's years. And it's so with that said, I think a lot of folks here would like to get a little reading from us, and we're going to go, at a slower pace. Now,
Mhm.
I know a lot of you here already put in your questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop in here this first, and it says we're going to be doing messages from loved ones. If you'd like a message from your loved one, we just ask that you provide the name and the relation. We're also going to be answering questions or giving messages from your spirit guides and angels, and we ask that you put your questions in caps and emojis, and these will all be chosen at random. Now, with that said, I have been starring them. I not for long, but just a little bit. So just visiting. If you're still here, I have you, Cody Rosenbaum. Just say hello if you guys are still here. Living in Love. If you're still here, say hello. And Amelia Anderson, say hello. And And if anybody else wants, I'm not sure how much time we'll have to do this, but if you have a question, you can still put in your questions. But I'm not going to go back and look for anybody else. And also, Akela, I wanted to show you this.
Oh,
I should have warned you.
right. Coyote Rosenbaum. I don't have a channel yet. Okay. But
She's going to be guesting. She's going to be our guest on, I'm sure, many people's shows. Everybody's going to want to have Akela on their show. And it's a whole nother set of skills to have this backstage kind of thing. And in order to get in front of people, Allie had me on her channel for 5 or 6 months before I started my channel. I was a guest on other people's channels, and and it takes a while to get used to that before we move forward. Okay, so Coyote, Amelia, Living in Love, you guys are all here, and is Just Visiting still here? Did she? Let me go up and see. Just Visiting, if you're still here, just let me know. So what is this? Amelia says, I've been having a weird itch at the crown, the side and back of my head that starts off with this intense itch and then this indescribable burn immediately after. Should I be worried? Oh, I didn't realize that this was a question, but let's go ahead and take this as your question. Now, we don't do any type of medical questions, but this sounds more spiritual, and that's what I thought you were telling me. Because a lot of times I feel family members or spirit guides like pull the little hairs on the back of my head. And, you never, ever, ever feel your hair being pulled. And then it's very distinctive. All of a sudden you feel somebody's pulling your hair. And it's always like back here, and it's always like just one of those, and it's when you don't have anything in your hair, there's no reason for it to feel like it's pulling, but it's indescribable. The other thing that I definitely feel is like the nudges. I feel like somebody not necessarily tapping me on my shoulder, but I feel like an overall sort of feeling of somebody's insisting that I do something or listen. I feel this feeling of, urgency somehow. But let me just see. I'm going to use my pendulum.
Yeah. I want to ask Amelia because she said the crown, the back, and the side, right? Is it the entire back or more on the left-hand side? Because all of a sudden, from my crown coming down on my left, I feel a pressure. So I want to see if it's more towards her left-hand side. And I'm seeing what else I can get. You can go ahead, Jean.
It feels like it's more on the scalp. I feel like it's more on the scalp and the hair. I don't feel like, you would know better if it's coming from inside of your head, like a headache or an earache or like a sinus ache. If it's an ache, or it feels, the way you're describing it, it feels more topical, and it feels more nerve, like a little bit of a nerve ending. And sometimes if we have like a sinus pressure, it could be pressing on a nerve. If we have, I don't know, if we have, if you can check with your chiropractor, sometimes if we're a little bit out of alignment, that could also have, she said, yes, like a headache.
Yeah.
Okay. More towards the left.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It feels like a headache. I can feel it on my left-hand side, but it's more like right in this area here. Right in this area. So I'm not a doctor, and Jean, I'm sure you're not a doctor either. So I would say to Amelia, I don't think it's. I would still check with your doctor just to be sure it's nothing serious, right, Jean?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to check just to be safe.
If it keeps happening, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And it could be your crown chakra. make sure you run your energy, like clear your chakras, balance your chakras. Um, you can also ask your spirit guides and Archangel Michael to watch over you. And if there's anybody that's coming in too close, please ask them to step back. Sometimes, when I feel it, it almost feels like my hair is standing up. Almost feels like there's like a presence or an energy there that is like resonating with my like a little bit of a nerve awareness, or not nerve, but like, like a sensation, like a maybe even like oh, just like the nerves. And sometimes energy, just the sense of energy would make the scalp sensitive or sort of heightened. And that's kind of what I was feeling, was more of around your scalp. But if it's more of an ache, it could be coming from inner ear, could be coming from an old sinus infection that is just still on one nerve. It could be coming from many different areas. But I would check with your chiropractor, and maybe even check with the ear, nose, and throat. But like we all know, we're not doctors. But thanks for asking us that, Amelia. I'm sorry, I thought it was like a woo-woo question. Okay, so T. Lynn is here, and she says, my spirit guide started speaking to me about a week ago and startled me. So it stopped. What is his message?
I kind of feel like tested is the wrong word, but it's kind of like you're testing to see if you're paying attention. That's how I feel. Um, so it may seem as it's stopped, because they'll do that, right? They'll give you little nuggets just to see if you're paying attention. If you're aware, I shouldn't say paying attention, if you're aware. So that's what I feel like. So it may feel like it's stopped, but it'll start back. But I can see what I get for the message. Okay. I got right on. So it was just checking to see if you're aware, if you're paying attention to, like, when, and paying attention seems kind of harsh, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Awareness.
Yeah.
If you're aware, if you're open to your awareness. And I was getting something very similar, T. Lynn, and a lot of people have been asking me, what is the message? I keep seeing these, what is the message? The message is, can you hear me? That's the message. The message is, are you receiving this message? That's the message. So somebody said they went on a trip and they had this synchronicity and this sign. What does all this mean? I said, they're saying, can you see me now? Can you hear me now? Can you see me now? They're testing the communication and your awareness. So every time you see, feel, or sense something, even though it startled you, they know that it's going to startle you. They know that sometimes it's a little stronger, but perhaps maybe next time, if you do a little bit of a meditation on a daily basis, then more, if you know that there's information there that they just want to connect with you. So, they were like, she can't hear us yet, turn it up. She can't hear us yet, turn it up. And then finally you're like, what? So they're like, okay, turn it down, turn it down, turn it down. So they just want to feel the connection and the amplification of the of the communication, just that they're communicating with you. That's the message. So say, yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much for the message. I heard you. And please tell me more gently and easily so that I can understand it. And whatever you see, if you see a penny on the ground, just say, thank you very much. You see a bluebird looking at you funny, just say, thank you very much. Because they're going to come through in different ways. And it's almost like, T. Lynn, it's time for you to wake up if you haven't already woken up. And that's like that's an outdated term. It's time for you to open up your awareness, and to begin strengthening this connection to the other side, because we're all changing our vibration and our frequency. And I'm not going to get into that because we're doing readings here, but yeah. Does
So
that make sense, T. Lynn?
who had a
You said,
follow-up? Okay. Yeah.
had just stepped out at night and heard a man's voice right in my ear. I had chills through my meditation. Interesting. I imagine spirit like that Verizon. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me now? Meditating every evening. Good. Outside after dark. Wow, T Lynn. That's good. That's good. Very nice.
And
Oof.
one thing I just got for Tila and Jean, sorry to cut you off, is just remember, because you said as soon as I read outside after dark, I'm on the outside. Always remember, just to put yourself in a bubble. Okay. Always protect yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny, T Lynn. I think they were just turning up the volume.
Hmm.
Okay, so thank you very much. And I'm going to go with Living in Love. And after Living in Love, we'll go to Cody Rosenbaum.
Okay.
And I did catch a couple more. I don't know how many we're going to get to, you guys.
Could you let me know any message?
I'm sorry. Living in Love says, "Hi, could you let me know any message from my son who has passed? What is his name, Living in Love? What is your son's first name?"
Michael.
Oh, you see that already?
Mm-hmm. His name is
Okay.
Michael. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, he's kneeling down on one knee and bending down, bowing his head, almost like how a knight would before he's knighted. I'm not sure if you like Renaissance or if you like that type of story or but I see him kneeling down and he looks like he has like some sort of an older outfit on and he is bowing down so that you would be able to uh put the sword over and in knighthood, um just like Sir Elton John was knighted by the Queen. Sort of this is what he's doing. He's kneeling down on one knee to you, Living in Love, and bending his head down. So I don't know if he's asking for forgiveness, if he's showing if he's showing you his honor, or let me see. But he's very reverent. He feels like he's an old soul. And I do feel like he wants to come through saying, "Mom, I love you more than life itself." But I feel him being very gentle with this. He's not rushing in. He's walking apprehensively and does not want to sort of overwhelm you with that emotion, but he wants to express his love to you and his respect. It's a lot of respect. I feel as though maybe he said some things or something happened that um, really hurt your feelings, and he's almost wants to show you respect. Are you getting anything there, Akela?
So remember before we came in, I told you I was directed towards a deck.
Mm-hmm.
Deck. And as I go in, I see Michael smiling, big smile. And I heard the deck, the hummingbird deck. And I was like, okay, let me pull from the deck. So I shuffled the deck. And what's interesting is I shuffled this deck before we came in on live. And I reshuffled and I got the same call, the same card. And it says living in love. Oh, I'm sorry. It says, listen to the call. Spirit is singing sweet words of wisdom. Be still and listen. But what I feel with this is that he may be trying to communicate with you. He may be talking to you. You just need to find a moment to quiet the mind and you can hear him. And I'm saying that and I'm feeling like bubbly inside. So I don't know if you notice stuff or you hear stuff and you're unsure, but is he's communicating with you. And you see the hummingbird flying high with her wings spread all wide and just listening to music. So he could also be communicating through music. So
Mm,
you're hearing maybe a favorite song that both of you are like. Sorry for saying liked. That could be him. But then the other card I got says frolicking fun. Flip, flutter, and fly with a playful heart. And there's the yellow, if you can see that, stood out for me. And this,
mm-hmm.
so I don't know if yellow was brings you joy or brought him joy. Um, but yeah, just try to silence the mind. Michael is talking to you, and I see
I,
she said she named him after Archangel Michael.
yeah, that was like sort of like the time or the garb or the outfit that he looked like and the way that he was kneeling down waiting to be knighted, I think was similar to what Archangel Michael may look like. And you know how they have those tunics on? That's
Mhm.
what I saw was like a tunic. But I think that I resonated when you said, Akila, when you said that she is not sure of the messages that she sees, feels, hears, or senses. She's like, could that be my son? Could that be you? Or is that a coincidence? And he just wants you to know that all of them, they're all me, all different things. If you see a light flash, it's me. If you hear a creak in the stairs, it's me. If you smell some chicken wings or whatever, that's me. If you hear Christmas music, that's me. Like he's saying, whatever it is, however I'm coming through, if it's an unusual experience, a sign, a synchronicity, that's him. And he just wants you to trust him. And the more that you say, oh, okay, Michael, that's you. Thank you very much. It almost like is a vacuum here and it allows for so much more to come through. The more you say, no, that can't be, no, that can't be, it's really hard for them to come back in with another sign or synchronicity. As soon as you say thank you, it opens up the possibility for more and for more understanding and more synchronicity. But
Yeah.
how lovely is that living in love?
Yeah.
She said, we joked and laughed together all the time.
Okay.
That's good. And she said, oh, that's fantastic. Good to know. It's him. His birthday is in a few days. Aw, so sweet. And look, Ron, unconditional love. He's saying hi to us. Hey, Ron, how are you? Do you see who I have here with me, Ron? I have Keela here.
I saw.
Everybody's so, oh, look, and Ginger is here. Ginger is saying hi. Aw, Ginger saying hi to you and me. Hi, Ginger. Thanks for coming by. So nice to see you.
And I think
And
Cosmic Blue Avian came in, Nicole. I saw her. It was real quick. So, hi, Nicole.
oh, okay, Cosmic Blue Avian's here.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. Yeah, you probably know more people in the chat than I do. So nice. And that was Living in Love. And Cody Rosenbaum is next.
Okay.
After Cody Rosenbaum is Just Visiting, and I have three more.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see how far we can go. But Cody and Just Visiting, and we'll see how far we can go. All right. So Cody says, if possible, may I have a message from my dad, John? Thank you.
So, if Cody can answer this, did you and your dad play a sport together? Maybe soccer? I saw a quick flash of um like him and someone playing soccer or some sport. Looked like soccer.
She said no.
No? Okay. Okay.
Maybe he liked it.
Maybe.
So I'm just going to jump in here, and I feel as though your dad was a little bit on the younger side, maybe in his 70s. I feel him like, being of retirement age, but not being an old man. I don't see him as being like he. I just don't. This is what he's coming to me as, like and maybe in his 70s. He seems to have been fit and really smart, kind, and a little bit not. He was funny, but he would he would tell you stuff. He would say something that would make you laugh, but it wasn't like the life of the party. It was like he would say like sly remarks, like where'd they get that haircut or something. Like it was something that he would say to you. It was almost like an inside joke that would make you crack up. Like, but he wasn't like that way to everybody on the outside. He's just showing me. I do feel that he was single too. He's just showing me that he was alone. I don't know if your mother predeceased him or if they were separated, but I see him being very kind, a little bit younger, and I feel like he did pass suddenly, um, and not like a long drawn out illness. So let me know if any of this makes sense to you, Coyote. Let me know if I'm on the right track.
Okay, I'm gonna pull cards because he's not saying much. After I mentioned the sport, I saw at football, you know, the post that they kick the ball through. I saw that. So I'm not sure if he was a football fan, but he's not saying much. So I'm gonna pull a card. And I'm seeing if my brother can get him to come talk to me.
Okay, so dad retired at 80 and passed away just before he turned 94. Mom and dad were married for 67 years. So I
Okay.
wonder if this is somebody else's dad, John. If this is somebody else's dad.
So here's the thing, Jean. Look at the card I get for Coyote Rosenbaum. And this is a Talking to Heaven deck. And it says, remember me by the happy memories recreated.
Mm.
So there's some sort of activity. My dad was a historical. Huh.
Do you mean hysterical, perhaps? Or historical? I don't know. Maybe that was a.
Yeah, let me.
But he just. That's I mean, maybe he was very fit and healthy, 80. But he lived till 94, and I wasn't. I definitely wrote younger, single, sudden, kind. So I'm not sure if this may be somebody else's dad that's coming through. But let me see if I can ask John. And Coyote, what's your first name?
Yeah.
He was hysterical. Okay. So that little sly remark that he was telling me was more him. So
I don't know if you're going through something, Coyote, if you're dealing with something, but he wants you to know from the card that he says, I am here helping you. And there's a gentleman, oh, I'm so sorry about my background. There's a gentleman holding a flag. Whatever it is you're dealing with, just know that he's helping you. And it may not be anything. It could be just that he's there helping you through life.
to reach your goals,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
reach your goals.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. The goalpost. Huh.
And it's Linda. So, John, what message do you have for Linda? He wants you to know that he's okay, and he wants you to know that you were. He's saying his best friend. I think that you had a warm and tender relationship with him, and and I hope he's. I feel like he's saying that you got the his sense of humor as well from him. That you continue this. It was like in the family kind of thing. He's not a man of many words. My dad has always been there for me. Yeah. Um, what else? What else? John, give me one more point that can link you and Linda. He's talking about family get-togethers in the backyard with the charcoal and the grilling, and the you were in like a nature or a natural environment, whether it was somebody's backyard or a campground. But he's I smell the smoke of charcoal and of food on the grill, and these quiet times or these genuine times that you spent together, like a family get together or a backyard barbecue that was just very, it's almost like the perfect night, the perfect set of friends and family around. And he really cherished the time being with family, like sitting around after a meal, being with family. He's just showing me this. No, he's never been a man of many words. Okay. My dad has, okay. Dad loved his grill. Okay, there you go. He gave me. I asked them for a connection there, Linda. So then it's just so that you know that it was him. But in the beginning, we got some things that were not really on point, but maybe it was just our interpretation of it. But good. I'm glad. I could smell the charcoal, and I could see the beautiful, perfect night, like you guys are watching the lightning bugs or whatever you call them outside, and just having like this moment of isn't this just bliss. So he's sending you his love, Linda, and keep up that giggling. He wants you to keep giggling at him. I don't know if he sends you things to laugh at. If you find yourself finding something hysterical or funny, uh it's him sending you these things. I think he'd like to see you guys laugh. All right, so let's see. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. He's very sweet. Now he's a little slow to come in, but now he's here and he's like, "Brr, brr, brr, brr." Okay, just visiting is next, and she says her name is Mary. Oh, Mary Kate is your grandmother. Does she have any messages? She was the best. Any messages for me? And Mary Kate is her grandmother.
Okay.
And if we have time, Lisa SR, if you're still here, you're next. So, Lisa SR, if you're still here, just say hi. Mary Kate, my grandmother, she was the best. I feel like she sort of had this raspy voice. Um, I feel like she liked to entertain, she liked to cook. Obviously, grandmothers do, but she's showing me that she would make a lot of food for a lot of people. I think she liked I don't know if she liked like those Tupperware parties or those Pamper Chef parties or something where, or even Avon parties. There's something where you would go in a group of women and have these parties. But I mean, she enjoyed selling things and stuff, but she just went for the chat. She loved being with people. She loved being with people, chatting with people, and having that social the tightness, the social awareness around her. Are you getting anything, Akila? I'm sorry, I jumped in first.
No, no, that's fine. Oh wow, she said she sold Avon. So you on point there. So when you read the part where she said her grandma was the best, I heard grandma come in and she said, "Yes, I was the best." so, so I feel like even though she's saying yes, she was the best, it was more of she went out of her way to be the best. So it's not like she didn't know because she put in the effort, she put in the work so that her kids, grandkids could feel it. Let me see what else I get. Well, I may just pull from the cards. Um, but she was very, from her response, you can tell that she was very lively. She wasn't, I don't want to say the life of the party, but she had that joyousness in her, that just joy. She had that joy about her. Well, this card says, I wish I had told you more often how much I love you, but I don't think it's the words on the card. I think it's more what I feel is more the image on the card because I feel like she told you how much she loved you. You felt it, but it's more of the imagery. So she's sending you her love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's what I have.
Mm-hmm. And she said that she took care of me when my mom could not. What an amazing woman.
Yeah.
And she taught you a lot too. It was almost like she didn't treat you as a daughter, like, but she said, now, when you go down to that bus stop, don't you let those girls talk to you like that. Like she was like sort of like your confidant, your coach, your guide, and your sounding board. She didn't say, well, you need, it's just that she had your back. It was like she was your coach, she had your back, and it wasn't like she was um uh reprimanding or disciplining you. She was sort of like giving you the lay of the land and letting you figure out your way around it. But it was her, because this is her second chance. She had raised, I don't know if it was your mom, I guess, and now she has the chance to do it, and with a different perspective, with a lot more wisdom. And I think that maybe she had to um, express some tough love sometimes while you were coming up, and maybe even like curfew or whatever, or deny you going to concerts or whatever it might be. But she just wants you to know it wasn't because she didn't love you, it was because she did love you. And she doesn't want you to think that she ever didn't love you for any reason. I think there was something that you got mad at her, or that she did things that you said, well, if she really loved me, she would let me go to the concert, where it wasn't about that, but she just wants to reiterate her love. She's telling me that too.
Mhm.
Okay, so she said she was the most cheerful person I ever knew, and she treated me like she loved me. Good,
She did.
good.
She did. And it's interesting, right? Because I keep hearing her say Mary Kay, Mary Kay. And I'm like, Mary Kay. But there's also a cosmetic line called Mary Kay. And
Mm-hmm.
Mary Kay and Avon
Mm-hmm.
kind of like were head and head together. So I think she may have been like when she would sell Avon, like people might have said, "Oh, you're Mary Kay," because her name was Mary Kate. Why are you selling Avon? It's she made me because she kept saying Mary Kay, Mary Kay, and I'm like, this is called Mary Kay. So yeah, she's sweet. I like her personality. I like her essence, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you said she was a worthy matron in the Eastern Stars. I'm not sure what that means. Do you know what that means?
Mm-mm.
I
I saw
don't know.
that, but I didn't know.
I don't know if Mary Kate is the name of a star in the East. I don't, maybe it's an astrology related to an astrology. She said, "Wonderful. Your connection to her is amazing. She filled her garage with Avon products. Get the heck out." Whoa, Mary Kay. Oh my gosh.
Mm,
She's planning on selling big.
yeah, it's
Good for
Eastern.
her.
It's an Eastern Stars a club. I don't know.
Mm,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. The Masons have a male and female clubs. Oh, it's in order. Thanks for checking that out for me, Ginger. Thanks for having our back, Ginger. You're so sweet. Okay, very good. Thank you. Just visiting. So we're right at an hour. Do you have time for one more, Akila?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fine.
Okay. So Lisa SR said that she's here. And she says, any messages from her father, Daniel? Man, this is all mediumship. You're making us work here, got everybody. Woo. Okay. All right. Lisa, I just want to ask you if Daniel was similar to any of those things that I was getting wrong the first time, that he passed suddenly, that he was, I say, younger, like in his 70s, like he didn't live to old age, single and very kind. I was picking that up, and the other person asking the question said, no, that didn't sound like her dad. So I just wanted to give you those things, and it's okay if it doesn't. I haven't even tapped into Daniel. I was just curious. Daniel for Lisa. Calling on Daniel for Lisa.
Okay. I immediately got a pressure on the left frontal side of my head. So I don't know, Lisa, if your dad suffered with anything, headaches, maybe sinuses, head injury. If you can let us know. Okay. Hmm.
That was to me. She
Oh,
said that to me about the other things. I'm getting a little bit of like facial hair. Did he have any facial hair? And I do see a little bit like um a reddish brown hair. Did he have any no headache that I know of? And did he have like a reddish tint to his hair? And I see a little bit of facial hair. I do see somebody who's I feel like they were a hard worker and they were tired, and perhaps I'm not sure if there was something around his lungs or his heart. I do feel as though there's something in my chest cavity inside of my ribs that is aching or maybe even swollen. I'm not sure what this is inside of my ribs. There's a lot of things in there, but it's lungs or heart, I would guess at first. But I feel like he was a hard worker, and he seemed like he was tired. Like did never really got a chance to like play sports or do things after work because work just really took all of his energy. Um, so she said they weren't sure of the exact cause of death and no facial hair.
okay. So you know what's interesting that you said, Jean, when you saw reddish brown hair, I keep seeing these dots, reddish brownish dots. And then the headache, I don't know.
She doesn't know what happened when he passed.
The headache just moved all across the front of my head, and I'm still seeing these dots.
Mm,
I'm just going to mention these reddish brownish dots. It it looks like if you're looking at a science project and you're seeing
mm-hmm,
cells, that's what I'm
mm-hmm.
seeing. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to get more information with regards to that. Do you battle headaches by chance, Lisa? Because these reddish brownish dots would not go away. So I'll see what else he wants us to know about that because he's not removing that image from my view.
That's interesting, and that's interesting that you say that, Akela, because I hadn't considered. No, she doesn't have it. I hadn't considered asking her if she was tired after work, if she couldn't go out and play after, if she felt, because he's just showing what usually it's him. This is what I'm feeling. Um, no facial hair, no reddish to his hair.
Hmm.
Cataracts, no, I think that was more of like a red platelet or red cell, white cell kind of platelet thing. Um,
But there's a reason why he's showing that. What is the reason?
mhm.
Okay. I'm just going to say what I just heard. Whatever that reason is, I just heard it's not for here. So I'm going to leave that alone.
Okay.
Whatever those reddish, brownish, whatever I'm seeing, I just heard it's not for here. So I don't know why he showed it to me and why he's saying it's not for him. But I mean, I kind of understand why, but that's what I'm getting.
Mhm.
So sorry about that. I'm not getting anything more.
So was Daniel a little bit on the thinner side? Um, like medium build to thin build? And so not plump at all. I just see him as I do see him as being a hard worker. I do see him like liking to watch the game. I can't tell what kind of a ball game, but he was does any of this sound like your dad Daniel? He was thin.
Hmm.
Well, what the message is that's coming through is also coming through with a cat. It looks like a gray or blackish cat, like a darker color cat, maybe with a white stomach, like with a white chest and black or dark color on the back. This cat comes through, and he's saying that he is he is out of pain. He is with the angels, and he has found his way home. I don't know if there was some sort of a misunderstanding towards the end that um, whether or not he was following the path. But he's saying that he is with the angels. He is at peace. He is without pain. He is taken care of. He found his way home, he's saying, and that you don't need to worry about him anymore. He's watching over you now, and he's showing me this this beehive, and it looks like one of those beehives that are up in the air that are sort of cone shape and sort of round. I don't know. This is more like a nest or a beehive nest or something. But so he's showing me this, and oh, he's saying, he told me behave, not beehive, behave. Sometimes they show me things to make me say things. He's saying, I don't know if he behaved or if he's telling you to behave, but he's saying, or if the beehive was but he wants you to know that he's out of pain is the most important thing. And that he is, I do see him almost like being in a crowd of loving light beings all around him, and him like having this glow from underneath. And he's just like saying, I am well, and I am in the place where I belong. And that he is now sending you love and able to see things from a different perspective. And he's just sending you love. And he showed me that beehive, and then he said behave. So I don't know what any of that means. I'm just going to stop there.
Yeah. So I pulled a card just as what you said, Jean, and he said, can you see, he's with the rest of the family, and you can see down there there's a three people. So I take that to be the beings he's around, the family, whoever he's with. But when I went back in after I heard not for here, the reddish brownish circles became white, and it was the same shapes because it was a bunch, but they're now white. Don't know what that means.
Yeah,
Hopefully it may resonate later on, Lisa SR.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that, these things don't always mean something right here, right now, but maybe moving in the future, you'll be like, oh, that's what he was trying to say. Or something in the future, you'll see, oh, what are these? These look just like what Akela was saying the other day, like it could not have happened yet, or you may not realize what it is until later, or until you tell somebody else and they say, well, don't you remember he had that? You're like, oh, yeah, you know. But just to follow up, Lisa SR, thank you very much for all of the feedback. She said, I said, did he watch the ball game a lot? And she said, not much, but he did like baseball and football. And then she said there was chaos in his home towards the end. So this is why he doesn't want you to be worried about him, and let you know that he's at peace and that he is well. And she says, I don't think it's Daniel, but I hope he's happy. And it's hard. It's hard when there's not, clear, concise information. And she said his family is all gone. Well, you're still here. So, yeah. I'm so sorry for your loss, Lisa. And I'm sorry for the cryptic messages coming through. Try back again in a week or so and see. Maybe it was Daniel's first time trying to come in and communicate with us. But thank you very much. And Ron and Denise and Amanda and Tanya, everybody's here. And Ginger, everybody's here holding space for everybody. Platonic Tendencies is here. Thanks for coming. Sandra Dell is here, just visiting. Thank you very much for all of your feedback. Sandra Dell is here. I'm sorry we didn't get to your question. I see you here. Thanks for being here. And it was a wonderful. Now, I just want to remind everybody, this is Akela-B's debut appearance live on YouTube doing readings. So, Akela, I just want to thank you very much for all of your information that you shared with us along your spiritual journey about how you developed your abilities. And we had an amazing time doing readings together. And I just want to invite you here. You don't have to tell me yes or no, but I just want to let everybody know I'd like to have Akela back whenever she feels comfortable, and maybe, have something and do this again. Oh, look, everybody said she did great. Look. And half of it is just getting this like nervousness off of you. Once you get the nervousness away, and it's just like her and I, then you can like really get into that higher vibrational frequency. But thank you very much, everybody, and I appreciate everybody being here and being so supportive to me, Akela, and myself. So
Thank
take
you.
care, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again. Bye.